What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Sal, the Small Cap Millionaire. If you haven't already, visit thesmallcapmillionaire.com. Sign up for my newsletter. Check out my other site, freestockpicks.org. Today, I want to talk to you guys about something. I got an email from a guy, and it's so crazy because, the people who do really good at the stock market, unless they're selling a course or something like that, they don't really tell you they're successful. You know, people who are doing really good with stock picks and things like that, you never hear from them. You know what I'm saying? But the people who are doing bad, you hear from them all the time, right? Because those are the people who somehow, for whatever reason, they can't figure it out. They just can't figure it out. But today we're going to figure it out for you because you're so hard headed. I want to talk to you guys today about why you keep failing at penny stocks. I made a video on June 9th. All right, my sister's birthday actually. And I was telling people about a penny stock called Apps. Apps is a company that regulates applications or manages applications for multinational companies and um, gosh, what do they call them? Phone carriers. That kind of goes all entangled with multinational carriers, companies as well. Basically, if you're creating an app and you need it managed, okay, you go to apps, ticker symbol APPS. All right. If you're a company like Samsung and you're looking to launch your platform and enable your platform to be able to update and do all kind of, real technical shit like that, you hire a company like Apps, ticker symbol APPS, to handle that. Okay? Because Samsung makes the phone, they don't actually deal with the software within the phone. Okay? So the day that I released the call on June 9th, I had seen that the stock was basically at support. The stock was at a price that the market had felt that it wasn't low enough to continue to sell, and it wasn't significantly high enough that you know, there was nothing going on with the stock that mentioned that there needed to be bought more. Okay. Earnings were coming out soon. So I thought that I said, you know what? I think they're going to beat earnings. I think they're going to, outperform what people expect them to do. Now, they were a penny short, but the company still made astronomical gains in the business. The market really didn't care too much. There was a slight pop, not much, but the stock was up. The next day, though, not after the earnings, but the next day after the call, the stock actually went down. I have a gentleman in Pensacola, Florida. His name is Douglas, last name E. First name Douglas. Douglas is really successful in his business, okay? But he wants to get into penny stocks. And the thing about Doug is that he trusts me so much that he just goes out and buys the thing I say for him to buy. And he understands that when it comes to investing, he's got to be patient because he doesn't have a lot of money. I think he has like 4 grand. So he understands that he has to be patient at what he's doing. See, when you're trading, you lose moving in and out of stocks. For every action you do, you've got to pay some kind of money. You've got to realize a gain or realize a loss. Okay? Every move is going to cost you something. So if you don't have a lot of money, you've got to try to make as few moves as possible so you can generate as much profit as possible. You want to stand still. In fact, not to run off too far off subject, there's a book. It's called Reminiscences of a Stock Operator. Old book. Everybody on Wall Street's read this book. The character in the book, Larry Livingston, okay, made up name. It's a really good book. Reminiscences of a Stock Operator. The guy talks about what? He says that he made most of his money standing still when everybody else was running around. He says that the most successful people, it's really hard to find men who are right and stand still. You've got to stand still to make money in this game if you don't already have a lot to begin with. See, Tim Sykes and all those other traders that you guys love to follow, they've already got a ton of cash, so they can move in and out of the market, all right, for 3, 4, 5 cents on the profit per share because they're taking huge positions. You don't have a lot of money, so you've got to stay put so you can take advantage of as much profit as possible. So again, the next day the stock goes down, all right? Because I released it June 9th after hours. So you can't buy it the day that I release the $1 pick that I say you guys need to jump on this. The stock goes to 97 cents. Do you know what Douglas did? When the stock went to 97 cents, and I was already in for at $1, that's why I brought you guys about it, told you guys about it. He buys the stock. He buys nearly 3,500 shares of this 97-cent stock because it dropped all the way damn near to 97 cents. Actually, it went lower than that, right? Yeah, it basically touched. Yeah, he bought it at 97. He bought it at the low. Okay, he's like, say I got in at 97 cents, brother. I'm in with you, man. And you know what he did? He sold it today at the high of the market at 114. He net a very, very healthy profit. Not a ton of money, but he net pretty good profit. But I also have a trader who emailed me who was the fool because he didn't buy it all day that my video was out. He bought it at $1.10 a share. He bought it at $3.50 the day before earnings came out. So he bought it with the rush that comes in practically every stock the night before expected earnings. The night before expected earnings are released on a stock, there's always a rush of people. That rush of people drives the stock up. So we saw that here. This is late in the day, the 14th, right? Late in the day, late in the day, 13th, the 13th. So he bought it somewhere up here. When you had all day to buy it at the price you should have bought it, at the price that makes sense. See, a lot of you guys don't want to buy stocks when they're down. I don't understand that. Do you want to buy high and sell low? I mean, I don't understand. You know, you're supposed to buy low, sell high, right? I don't want to buy stocks when they're up. I don't want to buy a stock that's up 3% in a day. I want to buy dips. I want to buy stocks at a discount. I want to buy stocks at a discount. If a stock has been rallying, I don't want to buy into rallying pressure. If I know the fundamentals are there and there's a dip because there's some people in that decided, okay, I'm off this ride, thank you. I want to buy that. I want to buy that dip because I'm getting it at a discount, even though I believe the fundamentals are on my side that the stock will continue to increase in value. I don't want to buy when the stock is going up. So anyway, this Jonah guy, he buys it at the high of the market, right? The next day, the information comes out. The stock doesn't beat earnings. All right? So, understandably, some people are upset and they want to sell. Because guess what? They play earnings. The stock didn't beat earnings. And they're momentum investors. That's what they do. They trade on the momentum. It wasn't going anywhere. So what do? They bought high, right? They bought into the market. It didn't go anywhere, so they're selling. They dip. So it touches 97 cents again. Douglas hits me up, says, man, I'm in. I'm good. We're still good, man. We're good over here, man. But you know what the guy at 109? Come on, man. What's going on, brother? You know? Come on, brother, man. You said the stock was going up, brother. Come on, brother. Brother. I thought you was gonna hook us up, brother. Being an idiot, being an emotional idiot. Again, when you don't have a lot of money, you've got to stand still. You're at the cheapest price of the stock right now. The market respects this stock at $1. It respects it. At 97 cents, it's too cheap. So people step in and say, you know what? I'm buying that. But this idiot, he gets emotional. He's one of those kind of guys that when he makes an order, his heart starts beating. If you're one of those investors that gets your heart beating after you buy a stock, I think you really need to evaluate whether or not this is for you. Like seriously, you need to evaluate whether or not you're don't get me wrong. When I trade sometimes I get excited, but when you're literally on the edge of your seat, when you're so nervous, you almost feel like you can't breathe. When you're so nervous, you've got your cursor on the sell button. I think you really need to evaluate whether or not this is for you, man. Like really. So less than 6 hours or whatever it was after purchasing the stock, oh, more like what? He brought it at 350 something. So what's 9:30? 3 to 9:30. It's not 24 hours, right? So what is it? 12, 11. So at 9 something, whoever he was sells, because I'm not saying your name anymore, sells at the bottom of the market. Come on, man. I lost money on that trade, man. Hook your brother up, man. Hook your brother up, man. Come on, brother. What you gonna do for your brother, man? You've got to be patient. You've got to be patient, man. Not 7 days later, we're at 113, 114. I think we've touched 117 so far. But of course, Douglas, he made money because he's patient. Many of you guys who lose at this game, you're not patient. You're not patient, man. You're not willing to wait. You don't have any guidelines that move you. We talked about this on my last show. I don't sell unless I'm down 10%. If you bought at what I told you to buy at, you've never been down more than 10% in this stock. You've never been down more than 10%. If you bought where I told you to buy. If I told you to buy it at $1 and it went to 97 cents, you buy that shit. I buy dips. You buy dips. If a stock is at support and it goes beneath support, you buy that shit. Now, if you're down beneath support and you're down now 10%, now you're running out the door. But if I'm at support and I dip beneath support, I'm buying because I'm getting a deal. So obviously when the momentum buyers get out, because there hadn't been much momentum, the value investors came back in and are coming back into the stock. And people who have been patient People who have been patient are making money as value investors return. As value investors return. Be patient. Be patient. I mean, you've only got 3 grand, 4 grand, 5 grand, whatever it is. Most of you don't even have $1,000. Why are you running in and out of stocks? And excuse me, I'm losing my voice because I was shouting at this NBA game last night. But why are you running in and out of stocks? You know it costs you $10 to go in and out of a trade. You know you're dealing with the PDT rule. Why are you running in and out? Every single penny matters for you. You need to maximize your returns. And I'm not shouting like the greatest trader, guys. I don't want you to think I'm the greatest trader in the world because I take losses too. I take losses too. This shit is hard, man. This shit is hard. It's not easy. It takes time to get good at this shit. But when you don't have a lot of money, you've got to be patient. You've got to be patient. You don't have the money. I say this all the time, man. Until you have about 30 grand, until you have about $30,000, it's hard to do this and stay at home. You guys know I talk about my $300 a day philosophy because $300 a day is about 78,000 a year. Okay, trading Monday through Friday, $300 a day. When you're doing $300 a day on $30,000, that's what, 3%? I think it's actually less than 3%, about 3%. You can do 3%. But when you're on $3,000, that's 30%. That's a lot of pressure to find that kind of money. And you're risking your whole account. Some of you guys you're trading huge amounts and you don't even have that much money, dude. You want to make $100,000 a year and you tripping on losing 200? You want to make $20,000 on trades one day and you're panicking because you're losing $105 and you're down 2%? You're upset because you're down 3%? And then you sell, and of course, after you're emotional and you sell, that's when the stock goes back up, right? Yeah, that's when the stock goes back up. Again, I'm not making this video to be an asshole. I'm just trying to let you guys know you've got to be a little bit patient, man. You got to be patient, man. This shit takes time. This shit takes time, and you know, some of you guys are watching the Tim Sykes and all that a little bit too much, man. Those guys are working with so much more money. They again, 4 or 5 cent gains is a lot of money to them. They, 4 or 5 cent gains on 20, 30,000 shares, that's a lot of money. That's a good gain for them. But if you've got 2 grand, that's not enough for you. You've got to stay in and wait a little longer and bag a little more. So a lot of the stocks they follow, you shouldn't be following those stocks, man. You need to look at something called trend trading. If you don't have a lot of money, you need to study trend trading, TREND. There are tons of books on trend trading, my friend. But I want you guys to do well at this, man. I want you guys to succeed. Because if you succeed, you're going to tell your friends, you're going to tell your family, you're going to get other people to want to get into this penny stock shit, and our market is going to be more liquid, and we're all going to win. I want you guys to tell people. I want you guys to become more successful about, trading. I don't want anybody to lose at this shit. I want you guys to have money so you can play my plays. Shit. I don't want you guys to lose money. I hate it when you guys lose money. But if you're going to be emotional and you can't hold a stock for an hour, you can't hold a stock for a day, 2 days, 3 days, but you want to be a millionaire? Do you know how millionaires they hold shares for years? They hold shares for years. There are people who hold shares for lifetimes. They live on dividends. They live on dividend income. Their families they've had it in that portfolio for 75 years. There are people who've had Coke stock since Coke started trading. They live on dividends. I'm not saying you got to be that investor, but you've got to get your gains, man. You can't be going in and out of stock on 2 grand, and you're not being patient. All right, I didn't mean to make this video this long. I just wanted you guys to understand, man. You got to get your gains, man. You got to get your gains. It's your boy Sal. Take care.